Right. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So, if you see the subject anthropology, that discusses about the variation. In relation to the human being. That means here in anthropology we will study variation means the differences. With respect to the human being, from his or her biology, his or her society, his or her culture, number of differences are there. All the societies are not same. All the cultures are not same. And all the biologies are also not same. With respect to the groups as well as individuals. Here in entire anthropology, we will discuss about this particular variation from the biological perspective in biological anthropology, from the socio-cultural perspective in socio-cultural anthropology. That is why the subject anthropology is more interesting, because we are studying our own culture, our own society, our own biology with respect to the characteristic features which are encrypted into the society. And here since beginning, the same scenario exists. That means here we need to study this human being from the biological perspective, social perspective, cultural perspective across time and space. These are the two important key words. Time and space. Across time means you need to study what happened to all these things in the past time, present time, and what will happen in future. And here not only in one particular area, and here in all the places across the world, across the geographical space, you need to study a human being. And that is why the subject is more interesting, because anthropology is giving the real picture of what we were and what we are and what we will be. And this is what is anthropology. And here in relation to this, we are having, 4 or 5 bunches, themes otherwise. And from the socio-cultural perspective, and we need to study this variation or otherwise differences. Here in the socio-cultural perspective, you need to see marriage, and you need to see family, kinship, economic organization, political organization, religious organization, then language and communication. And here in the chapter marriage, we will see variation, because the marital rules and regulations are different in different societies. And anthropologists and sociologists tried their level best to define what is marriage for the past, at least 1.5 century. But even now, anthropologists unable to give the suitable definition for the institution of marriage and what is marriage. And here in this connection, as different things are there in our society, even in Indian society, and in the context of uniform civil code. And we need to discuss about the things which are there in the chapter marriage according to the current trends. Now in the society, living in relationship is going on, datings are going on, and here in some of the societies marriage is only minutes business, in some of the societies days business, in some of the societies weeks business. And marriage may be completed with one activity, and marriage may not be completed with several activities. And in this connection, we need to discuss what is marriage. And here, whether the dating is considered as marriage, whether the living in relationship should be considered as marriage or not, and we need to discuss in detail, and which is also very, very important from the general studies point of view, because that is the thing which is going on in the society, and hence, obviously, they are important for general essay as well as social, Indian social empowerment and social justice and the ethics related paper. And hence, we have to study all these things very comprehensively, very comprehensively. And similarly here, there is variation, not only in the marital rules, but also in the family types. And how many varieties of families are there in India? And what about our previous joint family system? And what about the present nuclear families which are there in the urban areas as a result of industrialization, urbanization, westernization, globalization? And here, the families are broken down into pieces. And immediately after the marriage, and the person is coming to the urban area or a new setting, establishing a neo-local family, otherwise a new family. And why these giant families were broken down into pieces, and what were the functions of the giant family, and what about the traditional giant family, and what about the modern giant family? Because in some of the areas like Gujarat, especially among the Jains, and also among the Marathis, and here the families, the giant families were not in traditional mode, but in the modern mode. What about the modern mode? In Hyderabad, for example, to live in giant family, you need a huge space, and that huge space is not available. In Ashok Nagar, the square yard cost is 2,50,000 oka square yard. 2,50,000. And here, if the giant family size is 30 members or 40 members, it is not possible and feasible to live in the giant families in the areas like commercial areas like Ashok Nagar and Rajendra Nagar in Delhi. And hence, the giant family, 4 brothers or 5 brothers, will break this residence, and they will do the economic activity combinedly. They will take one common office, and all the brothers will be the partners in that particular office. But along with their nuclear families, they will reside in different locations across the city, wherever that is feasible. And all the people will come, and they will take the common business, and they will go back to their residences. In the case of previous traditional giant family, all the people should live under one roof and should eat the food prepared in one kitchen, and the economic activity is also very common. But here in the modern giant family, that is not possible, and that is not feasible in the modern settings, and hence the giant families, adapting to the new ecological and new urbanized, new industrialized settings. And this is what is called as adaptational view of the giant families. The giant families are not broken down, but they are adjusting to the new set of conditions. This is what we need to learn here. That means here, the giant family system is there, and the nuclear families are there, and which family is universal? Then again, there is a question, there is a debate. In anthropology, that is the beauty of anthropology. In each and every chapter, we will have these debates, and the debate is our, questions. And hence, we need to answer these debates, that's it. And what was the debate here? You know that the institution of marriage is universal existence, but there is no universal definition. And here anthropologists and sociologists debated among themselves to have the unique, universal definition which suits all the societies across the time and space. And they debated. And here, family, in the case of family even, and what type of family is universal? And here there are giant families as well as nuclear families, and if that is the case, which type of family is universal in existence? That means which present in all the societies across time and space. That is the subject matter. And here, some of the people, they argued that it was the giant family which is universal, present in all the societies. And G.P. Murdoch countered that, no, my dear, it is not the giant family or consanguinal family. And here, it is a nuclear family which is present in all the societies, and we need to look into these matters. And here in anthropology, the questions are straight. The question is, discuss the advantages of giant family, disadvantages of giant family. Why the women suffered in the patriarchal joint families psychologically? Okay, what about the reality of agricultural families and how agriculture and joint family and caste societies goes hands in hand? This is what is the subject matter here. And in the chapter marriage and in the chapter family, we discussed about the variation, which is the hallmark of this anthropology, in fact. And here, as an anthropologist, you need to give the reasons for why this variation, And same is the case with kinship. And here, the kinship terms and the kinship terminology systems and the kinship behaviors are different in different societies. The kinship, is quite different. And you may call one person as sister, and some other person will call the same person with the same relationship as wife. And here, the North Indian Hindus and South Indian Hindus are different marital rules and regulations. And the Hindus and Muslims are having a different set of rules and regulations with respect to the marital rules. And because with the marriage and with the establishment of the family only, they will become the kins. Kinship means relationship. Okay. And in the case of these things, say for example, and in anthropology we will show this triangle as a male, and here this is a female. In the case of this, if you combine these two individuals from below, that indicates the marital relationship. Or you may put is equal to even in between, that indicates the marital relationship. And if you draw a vertical line, this is what is called as a descent. And if you combine the two people from the top, this is what is sibling relationship. These two are brother and sisters, born to these two people. And here when you are referring one individual, that individual is what is called as ego. And here to this ego, this individual is called as father, this individual is called as mother, this individual is called as sister. Suppose, say for example, if you see the Islamic society, wherein this mother will have a sister, popularly called as Mosi, and here this individual is mother's brother, Mabra, and this mother's sister married and produced daughter, and mother brother also married, produced daughter. And in the case of Islamic society, this individual ego can marry here and here can also marry. This individual will choose whom he has to marry. He may prefer this particular individual or this particular individual. In the case of Hindu societies, not the North Indian society, but the South Indian society. So the South Indian Brahmins, South Indian Hindus otherwise, the South Indian Hindus will try to marry, otherwise will prefer to marry only this Mabrada, mother's brother's daughter. Not this mother sister daughter. Mother sister daughter should be considered as a sister only. In the case of North Indian Hindus, and the individual should not marry here because she is sister, and also should not marry here, she is also considered as sister. Because one person is your mother sister daughter, other person is your mother brother daughter, and hence genetically also, biologically also, there is no difference between these two individuals. What Muslims are saying? And Muslims are saying that as there is no difference between mother's brother's daughter and mother's sister daughter, and hence we can marry, there is no difference between these two individuals biologically and genetically and consanguinely. Whereas North Indian Hindus are saying that, "Arey my dear, they are our blood relatives, our genetic relatives, and hence you should not marry here and you should not marry here." What government of India is saying? Government of India is saying the same thing which the North Indian Hindus are saying. Because these two individuals are consanguinal people. They are our genetic relatives. And if there is any problem, genetic issue, if there is any deleterious gene, present in this particular individual, and the same deleterious gene or a defective gene may be present here in this individual or may be present in this individual, and if these two individuals combine, there is a possibility of getting the homozygosity. So when the father and mother give the same disease causing gene, then that will result in homozygosity, and the disease will be seen in the individual. So here, what are these rules and regulations? And you are giving one term, kinship term, that is what is sister, and Hindu is giving sister term to this person, not to this person. She is not considered. North Indian Hindu is giving sister term to this and also this. Not only in this side, and from the father side even. Father, brother, and father, sister. Father, brother will marry and produce daughter, and mother, father, sister will also marry and will produce daughter. And here, for the North Indian Hindu, she is sister, she is also sister. For the South Indian Hindu, she is sister, but she is not sister because she is considered as a potential mate, not sister. And this side and also this side, he can marry. This is what is a variation. And this is how the kinship systems are also not one and the same. The kinship terms, the sister term may not be similar in all the people across the world and all the socio-cultural groups. And not only this, economic organizations. Economic organizations or occupations are also not one and the same for all the socio-cultural groups across the world in general and across India in particular. And here everyone will receive the resources from different sources. And hence, you may have primary sector activities and you may have secondary sector activities and you may have tertiary sector activities to earn your own resource. You may be in relation to the primary sector, you may be worked in relation to secondary sector, you may be worked in relation to the tertiary sector. Okay, the tertiary sector is otherwise called as social sector, the secondary sector is otherwise called as a manufacturing sector or industrial sector, and here primary sector is not one and the same. And you may be worked in mining, it is also primary sector, or bee culture, honey bee culture, otherwise apiculture, primary sector, forestry, primary sector, agriculture, animal husbandry, horticulture, all these comes under primary sector activities. And several varieties of industries are there. It may be micro industry, it may be medium industry, it may be small industry, it may be large industry, whatever it is, industrial sector. And you may be in any type of service, not in one particular service, but any type of service for that matter. And here, you may be in service sector, and here we need to see what are the issues in relation to the agricultural sector and what are the issues and problems in relation to the horticultural sector. We need to look into this matter. And whether the primitive man is an economic man or not, we need to look into this. And when this economy word or profit word came into existence, we need to discuss in this particular chapter. And again, there is a debate in this, whether the man is a primitive man is an economic man or not. Then there is one debate called substantivism and formalism. So in this connection, again, and you will have a broader perspective in relation to the economic systems like that of the marriage, family and kinship, so that you can have the beautiful idea on the society in general and the Indian society in particular, and also tribal society. When you are having this specificity, then you can write beautiful answers. Suppose, say for example, you need to understand and what are the issues of agriculture. In the General Studies paper 3, and agriculture and related aspects are given in the syllabus. and public distribution system and related things are given, land reforms and related things are given, and here we need to have strong base. And if you finish off your economic anthropology, okay, then you will get overall idea on what are the issues of all these different sectors, and that is the base in the third paper, general studies. And similarly here we are having also the political organization. The political organization. The political anthropology, this is economic anthropology, this is a political anthropology. And here these three chapters comes popularly under social anthropology, but we are combining everything. Okay, so political anthropology. Political anthropology came into existence over a period of time here because what were the political systems in the past? And how our ancient societies started their journey around 2 million years ago at the starting point of the Pleistocene of which period? Quaternary period of which era? Cenozoic era. Cenozoic era. So here, and how our journey was initiated, and how man started the rule with respect to the marriage, and why marriage came into existence. Because there was a necessity, and hence there is a rule, there is an institution. Without necessity, no cultural institution was established. That is what Malinowski told. And the theory of necessities, theory of needs otherwise. Theory of necessities or otherwise theory of needs. So here, this is the response towards the biological need, towards the social need, towards the integrated need. Is it clear? So here we need to highlight this political organization. How the political organization was initiated means in the Paleolithic society, otherwise the Pleistocene society, which started around 2 million years ago, and only situational leadership prevails. Only situational leader. And as per the situation, the leader will act upon. As per the situation. Suppose here 15-20 individuals are moving. 15-20 individuals are moving as a band. This is what is called as a band society, band political organization. And in the band, all the people who are 15-20 people were very close to each other, maybe sexually, maybe reproductively, as one is a sex relation that prevails, another one is the consanguineal relation that prevails, and both the relationships are very, very important and strong relations, and hence they used to act as one entity, group. And all the people will be seen as one entity, one small group, band. One individual should do the work in association with the other individual. In the band music, you might have heard band music. In the band melam, suppose if everyone is, playing as per his own wish without considering the other individual, can we enjoy that music? And all the people, in the band melam, what the people will do? One person will play the music as per the tunes of the other person, and thereby the one harmonious blending is possible, and we can enjoy that music. And in the same way, here also in the band society, all the people work together as one entity, not as the separate individual entity. When the group is going, because at that point of time, the economic activity was food gathering and hunting. Food gathering and hunting. When the group is going for hunting, one person who knows where the animals will come, how to catch the animal, when they will be available, and that person will guide the group, and all the people will follow that person who is having that knowledge in relation to the animal behavior. And in the sake of food gathering, and one person who knows where the plants are available in plenty, where the edible plants are available, edible plant materials are available, in which season it will come, and one person generally will show interest towards the plant life and plant behavior, and when the plants will give good products and when the plant will give bad poisonous products even, and here with the experience they know, and here all the people will follow his directions or her directions when the group is going for food gathering. In 1 year, this was the question. Discuss the democratic elements of the band organization was the question. Democratic band organization ante enti? బ్యాండ్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ అంటే ఏంటి? గ్రూపులో వాళ్ళు ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టుగా వాళ్ళు పోకోకుండా అందరూ కలిపి డిస్కస్ చేసుకుంటారు. ఎవడైతే నాలెడ్జ్ ఉందో వాడు చెప్పింది అందరికీ చెప్తాడు. అందరూ ఓకే అన్న తర్వాత అందరూ ముందుకు కలుతారు. అండ్ ఆల్ ది పీపుల్ విల్ ఫ్రేమ్ ద రూల్స్ అండ్ రెగ్యులేషన్స్. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ లెజిస్లేటివ్ పవర్. They will take the decision and they will move. They will execute the same, and hence the band is also an executive organization. So here in democracy, the legislative powers must be there, executive powers must be there, and judiciary powers are also there. And hence band should be considered as a democratic organization. Okay, so here like this, as per the situation, the leader will change. When the group is going for food gathering, one leader. When the group is going for hunting, another leader. When the group is going for fighting, strong leader is essential. And weak leader who is having a number of ideas will not fit in fighting. And he will be killed brutally by the other group. And hence, in fighting situation, one leader will come. In food gathering situation, another leader will come. In hunting situation, some other leader will come. Okay. And to console the peace in the society, if there is any conflict within the group members, and one person will act as a leader to resolve all the things. To resolve all the things. That person should have a lot of patience, should listen to both the groups, both the people. Okay, hours together he has to spend, otherwise the persons will feel bad. And here, all this, how the band society, over a period of time, led to head society. Tribal head. Tribal system, and slowly the individual became king. Okay, tribal head, otherwise called as a chief. Chiefdom came into existence. So band evolved into chiefdom, chiefdom evolved into kingdom, and kingdom over a period of time gave to democracy. And in the democracy, again, we are having modern state. How all these things evolved. And even now in some of the societies we are having the band system. Even now in Polynesia we are having the chiefdom system. Okay. And till recently we are also having this kingdom system. Now after Second World War only we are having this modern nation state. Okay. How we are having this modern nation state and what is its relationship with the band system or tribal system is the subject matter in second paper. Tribe nation state, tribe modern nation state is given in the syllabus. Okay, so in political organization also there is variation, and you need to study as an anthropologist and what are the different things which are there in different societies across caste and also tribe. And religions, of course, religious organization will also show the variation. All the people in India are not following Hinduism, and we have given the secular articles 25 to 28, and we have given cultural freedom in article 29 and 30, and article 350A and 350B. Is it not so? Yes. And hence all the people are not following the same belief systems, and everyone will have their own belief systems. And what about our Paleolithic behavior? Because anthropology will study not only present society and also past society, and hence we need to look into this, and hence it will be in the form of a story, and hence very interesting. So people from different backgrounds, there is no special thing here. The person from medical background can choose anthropology as an optional subject. The person from engineering background can also choose an optional subject, and the person from arts background can also choose anthropology as an optional subject because of its variation, and it is about our own life and our own society and our own culture. And nowadays if you see the general studies papers, then they are highlighting not the political aspects but the socio-cultural dynamics within the society. Suppose, say for example, if you see here, there is one subject called regionalism. other subject called globalization. These two things are there in the syllabus. Where in anthropology second paper, they are there. Okay, they are there in general studies paper 1, Indian society, and general studies paper 2, and general studies paper 3, and anthropology paper 2. Paper 2. And hence, that will be there in general essay. Okay. In Indian society, so this is the GS paper 1, say for example, and try to understand. What about the regionalism? India is nothing but group of nations. Nation is nothing but wherever that we feeling is there, that is what is called as a nation. Plurality of nations. Plurality. Okay. And here, there is no uniformity. No uniformity. Is there any uniformity in all the regions across the country? All the languages across the country? All the races across the country? And different racial elements are there across the country. We are having Negroid elements, we are having, Mongoloid elements, we are having Caucasoid elements. All the elements we are having. And hence there is diversity. So there is ethnic diversity, otherwise called as racial diversity. And here more than 1600 languages, 1652 languages were identified. And here how many languages were enlisted in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution? 22 languages were given. Initially how many languages were given? That became 22 now. 22 now. So there is linguistic diversity. And how many regions are there? Several regions are there. Even you cannot consider a state as a region. Even within the state also, Maharashtra, Vidarbha people are aspiring to become. And previous Andhra Pradesh, Telangana was separated now. So that means within the state should not be considered as a region. There are different regions and regional diversity is also there. And in that context, this is mentioned in the syllabus. That means unity and diversity. And here the features of Indian society was mentioned in the syllabus. What is the most important features of the Indian society? And here in Indian society, we are having some of the core features and some of the marginal features. And what is the one of the more core feature? And here there is unity in diversity. There is no uniformity, but there is unity. That is the beauty of India. So what is the beauty of India? There is no uniformity. And here in marital rules and regulations there is no uniformity. In family types there is no uniformity. In races there is no uniformity. In religion there is no uniformity. In region there is no uniformity. But we are all Indians. Unity is there among different sections of the people. Here, though uniformity is not there, unity prevails in India. That is what is India. In the case of European countries, you might have studied in your world history that and how the Europe, which is not more than the undivided India, broken down into pieces and pieces. Okay. Italian unification you might have studied. Germany unification you might have studied. And what about the Prussia you might have studied. What about Yugoslavia you might have studied. And here how all these things broken down into pieces and pieces, and thereby small our state like nations were there in an n number across the world. Whereas in India, though we are having this plurality, though we are having a diversity in relation to the language, religion, race, etc., but we are all one. And here we are all integrated in the national integration. National integration. And the regionalism as a factor is threatening the national integration now. Is threatening. Some of the secessionist movements started in India and they want to separate from India. But here, as a result of our constitutional backup, as a result of our institutions which were established from time to time to tackle these things, and here India was like India and India will be like the present India. Suppose, say for example, here if you take this paper 2, the institutional mechanism to prevent the regionalism, and thereby, because regionalism will be a threat to the national integration automatically. When the regionalism may be an integration, threat to the integration, national integration, then it will be a problem. Suppose if Nagaland separates from India, if Mizoram separates from India, if some other state want to separate from India, Tamil Nadu separate India, then it will be a national integration issue. And hence, we have to give an eye towards that. And hence, our constitutional experts made this possible by giving some of the constitutional provisions within the constitution, because we need to take care all the aspirations of all the groups across the country. All the aspirations we need to take into consideration. Aspiration means, suppose in Tamil Nadu there is an issue in relation to the language. Okay, and anti-Hindi slogans are going on. And we need to give an eye towards that. We need to console them. Array, my dear, we are all Indians. Don't worry. We will cool down, settle down. And the same thing happened previously in the case of Nagaland, previously in the case of Manipur, in the case of Arunachal Pradesh, and all these small states in northeastern, and they divided 7 sister states. And each state is having a special issue and a special rule. And here, district councils, regional councils were appointed, some sort of autonomy was given. And here, do you have any autonomy in Andhra Pradesh for any particular area? But whereas in the case of Meghalaya, yes, the Khasi people will have an autonomy as per the 6th schedule of the constitution. That is what you need to study here in the second paper. That means here, the social background of the regionalism must be studied in the first paper. And the institutional and constitutional background must be studied from the second paper. Okay. Suppose, say for example, 6th schedule has given, according to Article 244(1), 6th schedule, 244(1). Is it clear? The administration is as per 244(1), there in the 6th schedule. If there is no 6th schedule, and northeastern India might have broken down into pieces and that might have been separated just like the European nations. And hence, as per the 6th schedule, not only as per the 6th schedule, they were given some autonomy, and when the situation became violent, and here the people acted accordingly, Article 371 came into existence, not 370 please. And recently 370 was abrogated in the case of Jammu and Kashmir, in relation to the Jammu and Kashmir. Now, here I am discussing about Article 371. 371 A to J clauses were there. A to J. Okay. Suppose 371G is in relation to Mizoram. Mizoram. That is what we discussed. C in relation to Manipur. Manipur. Why all these things are given? To tackle the cause of regionalism. And that region should not ask, should not demand for, separation, secession. And hence, we have given some sort of autonomy, some sort of special status otherwise. And this is what Andhra Pradesh people are asking, special status. Because here, some economic harm happened here. And whatever the amount that comes for the past 20-25 years, Especially, previously, there was no amount and hence we did not spend. At least for 30 years, we have spent our entire amount in Hyderabad, and hence, we were deceived in this sense, and hence, please give this special status to develop. And the special status was given as per Article 371 A to J. Okay. That is what you need to study. Regionalism, but what was the thing given here? The institutional and constitutional basis to prevent the regionalism. And Article 29, Article 30, Article 350A, 350B, why all these things? To tackle the regionalism only. To tackle the regionalism. Suppose the question may be, what are the factors, what are the actions taken by the constitutional makers to prevent the regionalism in India? Secession of India. Anante, what you have to write? ఇవన్నీ రాయాలి కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్లో. ఈ జాగ్రత్తలు వీళ్ళందరూ తీసుకున్నారు అని చెప్పి రాయాలి. ఓకే, కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్లో సపోజ్ నీ రిలీజన్కి మేము గుర్తించట్లేదు అని నువ్వు అన్నావు అనుకో, ఆర్టికల్ 25 to 28 ఈజ్ నాట్ దేర్ అని అంటే వీడిని ఇష్టం లేనటువంటి వాళ్ళు వెళ్ళిపోయి ఉండేవాళ్ళు. And hence, Article 25 to 28 is given. Religious freedom was given. So, in the chapter regionalism, you need to focus what are the different institutions. Zonal Council, for example, why this was created? Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. Why this slogan was given? And why, Ek Bharat and Shrestha Bharat, what the people are doing? One state and other state should be paired first. Pairing is going on. Tamil Nadu and Jammu Kashmir is paired, for example. The students from Jammu Kashmir will go and play in Tamil Nadu, and the Tamil Nadu students will also go to Jammu and Kashmir. So that to have one feeling, to maintain national integrity. Ek Bharat. Why the government is having all these schemes? And that is what is the subject matter in the case of third paper with respect to the general studies. In economy, what you have to study here? The developmental gaps are there. And government of India spent crores of rupees in the industrial development. But where these industries are established? In only one particular region. And hence only that particular region developed. What happened to rest of the regions? And it is the tax money. And who authorized you to spend only in that particular area? Why not in other area? Why the people should walk in the conveyor belts in airport? Why not in the remote villages and tribal villages? And whose money is this? That means here the government is spending amount on one particular region, and that particular region is developing, and it is not the other region. Other regions are still backward as a result of the developmental defects and imbalanced development which is going on. And here, if that party MLA belongs to that party, and here the project will be given, and that area will be developed. And if the opposition party member is there, and here no funds will be given, and no industry will come up, and the region is underdeveloped region. And in the developmental process of the country, and some of the regions were developed, and some of the regions were not developed. And hence, balanced regional development approach is essential. Why? To rectify the mistakes and blunders that were committed by the previous leaders of the country. And in this process, the balanced developmental defects you need to see. And where it is given? Indian economy. Paper 3 general studies. That means you have to study the regionalism subject. The regionalism subject. From the social background of the regionalism that is given in first paper. Then the institutional and constitutional mechanism to prevent this, that is there in the second paper. And here in the third paper, the developmental defects. Suppose, say for example, globalization is going on. And what is the link between the globalization and the regionalism? And you might have seen in the past 2 years especially, and past 1 decade that that scenario was commenced. But especially in the past a decade onwards. And every state is going to Geneva and explaining, "Arey my dear, you please come and invest." This is a part of globalization. As a part of globalization, and here the different state governments are competing with each other Okay. Are they not competing? Are they not competing? Yes, they are competing with each other. Revanth Reddy garu went to, Geneva. Chandrababu garu went to Geneva. Why? These are the facilities we are giving in Andhra Pradesh. You please come and invest. And the investors, as a part of this globalization, are coming to Hyderabad. Why? Already developed. Everything is available. And hence, within no time, and you will be known. And huge market is there. And hence, the people are coming to Hyderabad, people are coming to Bangalore, people are coming to Bombay, but not to the recently formed states, like Andhra Pradesh. Okay. And Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister is, though he is in 70s, moving around to attract. What is this? This is what is called as globalization and regionalism. That means here, as a result of this globalization, some of the regions, some of the urban areas, some of the conglomerates will develop. And what about the rest of the regions? And what about the rest of the areas? Rest of the areas are still underdeveloped. As a part of this globalization, and only some of the regions are getting, developed, and other regions underdeveloped, and some are in developing stage. And we need to look into this matter from the third paper general studies point of view. Finally, if you see anthropology paper 2, and what is the anthropological understanding? This was the topic given in last chapter, 9.3 of paper 2, anthropology. What is the anthropological understanding? Understanding with respect to, regionalism and autonomy. Autonomy. Is it clear? So, what is this? Regionalism and autonomy. Here, the anthropological perspective is very, very important. That means, the regionalism must be studied from the first paper general studies point of view, and here it will give the social backup. And here second paper point of view, second paper general studies point of view, because it gives the constitutional point of view. And the third paper, developmental defects and developmental, mistakes and blunders were there, and we need to rectify, and hence from the third point of view. Now this is the anthropological understanding. What is this anthropological understanding? That means here, if you see, say for example, in 2011, in West Bengal, that Gorkha land problem is there. And hence some sort of autonomy was given. And that autonomy and the Telangana formation are quite different. And why Telangana formation is quite different from the Gorkha land autonomy? Why the separate statehood was not given? The cultural basis was here. And here, the aspirations of the people, not only economic development here, but the cultural development was also spoken by the Telangana people. That means here, the cultural defect was also here. And if you see cinema, Telugu cinema will be highlighted by coastal language or Telangana language? Coastal language. Who are all these heroes? Came from the Shobhan Babu, N.T. Ramarao, A.N.R., all the people belong to Krishna, Guntur. And hence, their language will prevail. Why not Telangana language? Why not Telangana dialect? Directly, there is a huge difference. నువ్వు మాట్లాడంగానే తెలంగాణ నుంచి మాట్లాడావా, ఆంధ్ర నుంచి మాట్లాడావా, రాయలసీమ నుంచి మాట్లాడావా, లేకపోతే నార్త్ కోస్టల్ ఆంధ్ర నుంచి మాట్లాడావా అని మన విషయం మనకి తెలిసిపోద్ది. మరి ఎందుకు? మా వాళ్ళు హీరోలు లేరా? మా భాషలో మాట్లాడకూడదా? వై దిస్ డిస్క్రిపెన్సీ? అక్కడి నుండి స్టార్ట్ అయింది. మా పండగలు లేవా? బతుకమ్మ ఎప్పుడు వచ్చింది? తెలంగాణ. If there is no Telangana movement, there is no great tradition called Batukama. Batukama in the munupu ekkado unde. Batukama became the state festival after formation of the Telangana. అంటే ఇక్కడ కల్చరల్ యాంగిల్ ఉంది. ఆ కల్చరల్ యాంగిల్ గురించి ఎవరు మాట్లాడాలి? ఆంథ్రోపాలజిస్ట్ మాట్లాడాలి. కల్చర్ జరిగిన అన్యాయం గురించి ఎవరు మాట్లాడాలి? ఎవరు మాట్లాడాలి? ఇప్పుడు హిందీ ఉంది, ఇంగ్లీష్ ఉంది. కోస్టల్ ఏరియా వాళ్ళకి ఇంగ్లీషు వచ్చు. ఎందుకు వచ్చు? బ్రిటిష్ వాళ్ళు డైరెక్ట్గా కోస్టల్ ఏరియాని రూల్ చేశారు కదా, కాబట్టి ఇంగ్లీష్ వాళ్ళకు వచ్చు. రాయలసీమలో కూడా 1800 సంవత్సరం నుంచి ఇంగ్లీష్ వాళ్ళు నైజాం సీట్ చేశాడు కాబట్టి రాయలసీమ కూడా కలిసింది కాబట్టి రాయలసీమలో కూడా ఇంగ్లీష్ వచ్చు. సో కోస్టల్ ఆంధ్ర వాళ్ళకి, రాయలసీమ వాళ్ళకి ఇంగ్లీష్లో ప్రాబ్లం లేదు అనుకుందాం. కాసేపు అనుకుందాం. హిందీ మనకు ఒక్క ముక్క వచ్చా? ఒక ముక్క, చిన్న ముక్క. తోడా తోడా బీన్ అయ్యాతానా? హిందీ ఒక్క ముక్క రాదు. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ వీళ్ళకి ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటి? తెలంగాణ వాళ్ళకి కుతుబ్ షాహీల దగ్గర నుంచి, నిజాం షాహీల దగ్గర నుంచి మొత్తం అంతా ఈ ఉర్దూ గోల కాబట్టి వాళ్ళకి హిందీ, నువ్వు చదువుకోపోయినా కూడా హిందీ మాట్లాడతారు. మనం చదువుకున్నా కూడా హిందీ మాట్లాడలేం. ఇప్పుడు 10th క్లాస్ తీసుకోండి. 10th క్లాస్లో 2 సబ్జెక్టులు ఉన్నాయి, ఇంగ్లీష్ ఉంది, హిందీ ఉంది. పాస్ మార్కులు ఎంత రావాలి? రెండింటికి 35 మార్కులు రావాలి. మన వాళ్ళు మొత్తం హిందీలో పోతున్నారు, తెలంగాణ వాళ్ళు ఇంగ్లీష్లో పోతున్నారు. ఇద్దరికి అటు ఇటుగా అవుతూ ఉంది. వాళ్ళు కష్టపడి చదువుతున్నారు, వీళ్ళు కష్టపడి చదువుతున్నారు. చీఫ్ మినిస్టర్లు ఎవరున్నారు? కోస్తా ఆంధ్ర, రాయలసీమ వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. కాబట్టి అందరూ పోయి గోల్ చేసి హిందీలో పిల్లకాయలందరూ తప్పుతున్నారు. కాబట్టి ఈ హిందీ అసలు మనకు ఎందుకు, 35 మార్కులు దానికి అవసరమా అని దాన్ని ఏం చేశారు? ఎంత? 18 మార్కులు తగ్గించారా? 18 మార్కులు వస్తే నువ్వు పాస్ అవుతావు అన్నారు. కోస్తా వాళ్ళందరూ 10th క్లాసు పాస్ అయిపోయినారు, ఎందుకంటే 18 మార్కులు వస్తూ ఉన్నాయి. మరి అదే స్ట్రాటజీ మరి తెలంగాణ వాళ్ళకు కూడా పెట్టుండాలిగా, ఇంగ్లీష్లో కూడా 18 మార్కులు పెట్టాలిగా. వాళ్ళకి పాపం ఇంగ్లీష్ తెలియదుగా ఫస్ట్ నుంచి. ఓకే, మరి 10th క్లాస్ పాస్ కాకపోతే మళ్ళీ చదువు పరిస్థితి ఏంది? ఇంటర్మీడియట్ పరిస్థితి ఏంటి? ఇంటర్మీడియట్ లేకపోతే డిగ్రీ పరిస్థితి ఏంది? డిగ్రీ లేకపోతే ఉద్యోగాల పరిస్థితి ఏంది? అందుకని ఒక 30 సంవత్సరాలు 40 సంవత్సరాలు ఇట్లా జరిగిన తర్వాత ఏమవుద్ది? అన్ని ప్లేసుల్లో గ్రూప్ 1లో, గ్రూప్ 2లో, సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్లో అందరూ ఆంధ్ర వాళ్ళే ఉంటారు, కానీ తెలంగాణ వాళ్ళు లేనటువంటి పరిస్థితి అయిపోయింది. విద్యలో లేదు కాబట్టి ఉద్యోగాల్లో లేదు, ఆగిపోయింది. ఇంకేం చేయాలా? ఇది ఆంథ్రోపాలజికల్ యాంగిల్. Anthropological angle. Who has to study all these things in detail? The anthropologist will focus on what is the basic reason. ఇప్పుడు ఓన్లీ ఒట్టిగానే కేసీఆర్ చెప్పినంత మాత్రాన అందరూ పొలోమని పోయారని కాదు. అక్కడ ప్రతి మనిషిలోనూ ఒక రకమైనటువంటి ఫీలింగు ఒక్కసారిగా వచ్చింది కాదు అది. కాబట్టి కేసీఆర్ మెల్లో గంట కట్టాడు అంతే. కేసీఆర్ కట్టకపోయినా కూడా ఎవరో ఒకళ్ళు కడితే వెళ్ళిపోతూ ఉండేవాళ్ళు. కొంచెం పెద్ద గంట కట్టి ఆయన కొంచెం ఎక్కువసేపు దాన్ని తిరిగాడు, బయట వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా సపోర్ట్ చేశారు. కాబట్టి ఆ కాజు రియలైజ్ అయింది. నక్సల్ ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది. సే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, నక్సల్ ప్రాబ్లంని ఆంథ్రోపాలజీ వాళ్ళు చూసేటువంటి కోణము, అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటర్స్ చూసేటువంటి కోణము డిఫరెంట్గా ఉంటుంది. నక్సల్ సమస్యని కేవలం లా అండ్ ఆర్డర్ ప్రాబ్లంగా మాత్రమే చూసేటువంటి వాళ్ళు ఒక కాలంలో. ఓకే, నేను ఎండిఓగా పనిచేసినప్పుడు మా పక్క మండలంలో నక్సల్ బ్లాస్ట్ అయితే వాళ్ళు ఎంతమంది చనిపోయారో అంతమందిని మళ్ళీ మనం వారం రోజుల్లో చంపాలి అని చెప్పి ఐ వాజ్ దేర్ ఇన్ దట్ మీటింగ్. ఎస్పీ గారు చెప్తున్నారు. అంటే ఏంటి? రిటాలియేషన్. ఓకే, ఎంతమంది ఆఫీసర్స్ చనిపోయారు ఇక్కడ, కాబట్టి అంతమంది నక్సల్స్ని మనం వారం రోజులు చంపేయాలా, తిరగండి ఎక్కడ ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళు పట్టండి అన్నారు. అంటే ఏంటి? దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఈస్ లా అండ్ ఆర్డర్ ప్రాబ్లం. లా అండ్ ఆర్డర్ ప్రాబ్లంని క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నారు. కానీ ఆంథ్రోపాలజిస్టులు ఏం చెప్తున్నారు? అసలు ఈ నక్సల్ సమస్య ఎందుకు వచ్చింది, నక్సల్ సమస్య రావడానికి పూర్వ కారణాలు ఏంటి, ఎవరెవరు నక్సలైట్లు ఉన్నారు, రీజనల్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ కాలేజీ దానికి మాతృక ఎందుకైంది, వరంగల్లో చదువుకున్నటువంటి గ్రాడ్యుయేట్స్, ఇంజనీరింగ్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్స్ ఎందుకు నక్సల్స్గా మారిపోయారు, ఆ తర్వాత నక్సలిజంలో వచ్చినటువంటి మార్పులు ఏంటి, ఇవన్నీ ఎవరు ఇన్సైట్ డీటెయిల్స్ ఇచ్చేది ఎవడు, ఆడే ఆంథ్రపాలజిస్ట్. ఓకే, సో హియర్ ఆంథ్రపాలజీ విల్ గివ్ the 360-degree angle to the issue, and hence it will appear in each and every paper, and of course this will become the beautiful essay. గ్లోబలైజేషన్ ని, రీజనలైజేషన్ ని అన్నిటిని కలిపి బ్యూటిఫుల్ ఎస్సేగా మనం రాయొచ్చు. ఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్? ఓకే, ట్రై టు లింక్ the topics like this. As anthropology is helpful in getting the insights of the society and culture, and that is exactly there in all the papers of general studies and also general essay, and many students from different backgrounds are taking anthropology and getting very good score in anthropology. And here people are getting 351, 362. అంటే ఏంటి అసలు ఇది, ఈ మార్కులు ఏంటి? 351, 362 హైయెస్ట్ మార్కులు అని అంటే స్టూడెంట్స్ గాట్ దీస్ మార్క్స్. అంటే 175 out of 250 ఈజ్ పాసిబుల్ ఇన్ ఆంథ్రపాలజీ, బికాస్ ద క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆర్ స్పెసిఫిక్ అండ్ ఆన్సర్స్ ఆర్ స్పెసిఫిక్. నీకు నువ్వు మళ్ళా దాన్ని అక్కడ పోయిన ఎగ్జామినేషన్ హాల్లో పోయిన తర్వాత నేను అంతా ఆలోచన చేసి నా మైండ్లో నుంచి తీసి రాస్తాననే దానికి అవకాశం 2 క్వశ్చన్స్లో ఉంటుందేమో, 3 క్వశ్చన్స్లో ఉంటుందేమో అంతే. మిగతా క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్నిటికీ ఇప్పుడు కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ సేఫ్ గార్డ్స్ ఏమున్నాయి అని అంటే నువ్వేంటి అక్కడ ఆలోచన చేసేది, మిషన్ పెట్టి ఏం లేదు కదా, దడ 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 రాసుకుంటా వెళ్ళిపోతా ఉంటాడు. ఒక క్వశ్చన్ ఆలోచన చేసేదానికి కనీసం ఒక 1 minute 45 సెకండ్లో పడితే ఆ 45 సెకండ్లు 1 minute మనకు మిగులుతుంది, 25 క్వశ్చన్లో 25 నిమిషాలు మిగులుతుంది. అది చాలా పెద్ద టైం. మనకు 2 నిమిషాలు కనుక టైం ఇచ్చినట్టయితే లాస్ట్లో 2 నిమిషాల్లో చరిత్రను తిరగరాసేసి మనం మంచి ర్యాంకు 200 ర్యాంక్ వచ్చేది 20 ర్యాంక్ దగ్గర తెచ్చుకోవచ్చు, 20 వచ్చేది 2 ర్యాంక్ దగ్గర ఆగుద్ది 2 నిమిషాల టైంకి. నీకు 25 నిమిషాలు సేవ్ చేస్తున్నావు నువ్వు అని అంటే అది మామూలు విషయం కాదు. యూ నీడ్ టు థింక్ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్.